Hello everyone and welcome. We're back, and today we're going to be continuing our series as currently as Turkey, but we're going to be trying to restore the Ottoman Empire. So last time we left off, we'd just taken out Iraq and Saudi Arabia, and we're now going to start pushing into Yemen. It is currently February 1939, so it's going to be a little bit tight on the timing. Our army isn't the biggest or the strongest or even remotely good at the moment. But that's because up until recently we had very limited factories, so we haven't been able to really build a lot. We're actually behind a little bit, so that's not good. We're going to try and quickly take out Yemen. We're not going to bother with Oman because I feel like that's just going to spike world tension too much, and it's going to take too long to justify on them. 300 days, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll wait for the war to start, and then we can always take them out afterwards. But they weren't even, I don't think historically they were a part of the Ottoman Empire. It's just in case, just a few extra factories, really. I mean, you wouldn't want to take them out until they'd actually done these focuses because it's just free factories. So we'll let them do those first. Yeah, so we'll just get straight into it. So we've got 24 guys coming down here. Perfect. They'll capitulate straight away. That's fine. What we really want to focus on now is we want to start building tanks. And we're going to want to start pumping out garrison divisions as well. So we won't commit heavily to them. But we are going to want some garrison divisions. And the reason we're going to want some garrison divisions isn't because we particularly need just pure divisions. It's because we're not going to have a very strong navy. So we're not, we want people to hold our coast because we are going to be going to war with the British at some point. And if they navally invade us, that's just a whole new can of worms that we don't want to have to deal with. So we're going to want a nice defense force. We've completed our naval effort, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus on a doctrine effort for now. The reason for this is because eventually we want to come down and get this special forces here, which will add to our modifier, or our capacity multiplier, so we'll be able to get more special forces. Okay, and we're going to start powering out our 1939 industry tech. Okay, so we just finished improving working conditions, so we now have a nice 87% stability, which is much better than what we started on, so it's giving us a nice little bonus. We get an extra 7% political power and all of that good stuff, so that's always nice to see. Okay, we're just going to set up a coastal guard just to guard all of our ports. One thing you do have to bear in mind as Turkey is that you have these islands here, so you want to station men here, here and here. Otherwise, Greece can walk in, but the Allies will eventually land some troops there and try and land themselves, even if Greece doesn't. So you do need to watch out for that. Okay, and then because we don't have that many to begin with, we'll just tell them to guard the ports. So because we're actually short on manpower, instead of stepping up to extensive conscription right away, I'm just going to take the militarism focus. We didn't do it earlier because at the start of the game, it wasn't a concern for us. We had enough manpower. But now we're trying to rapidly mobilize. I think it's about time we do it. That's going to give us an extra 5%, so that'll triple our current manpower, which on its own will give us about 1 million. So that's pretty good. So I said at the start that one of the goals for this campaign was to not only restore the Ottoman Empire, but to also be the largest oil exporter in the game and to have a nice air force. So I think it's about time we start investing in this oil technology. For the time being, I do want to start getting refineries up, but that's what this tech was for. So I think short term what we're going to do is we're going to come down here so we can get some more resources up and about. At the moment, we got 36 oil, 15 steel, and then just a butt ton of chromium. So an extra 3.6 oil, not good short term, but once we start investing in some better drills, then it's really going to help us. Like I mentioned it as well, but as you improve your industry tech, you get more and more options to dig, get better drills, so you get more oil reserves pop up. So we will end up with a lot of oil at one point. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the medium aircraft designer because we are going to want a lot of bombers. Although I am tempted to go light aircraft just because I do like fighters and the agility and the speed. Are we going to use heavy fighters? I think having reliable bombers is good, but I'm not sure. I honestly don't know which one's better. I mean, if you've got a small air force, I tend to go for the better fighters, but we're going to have a nice big air force. Strategic bombers, no. Aircraft, no. I think we're going to go with a medium one for now. And that means we can now, once we get the factories, we'll start rapidly ramping up our aircraft production. Okay, so it is the 21st of August 1939, And Germany is just about to declare on Poland, unless Poland give them the Danzig, but I doubt they will because we have historical AI on. So I'm hoping we can take out Yemen without them joining the Allies. I think we should be able to, because normally it normally takes like a week for them all to get going, but there is a chance that Yemen will join the Allies. Oh well. I mean, if they do, short term we're going to be in trouble because we we have no men on these borders whatsoever. So I think what I am going to do is, just in case, is I'm going to split these guys off, just so we have just in case. I don't think we'll need it, but just in case, I want some guys over here. Okay, so Poland refuses the German ultimatum, and we've just finished militarism. So is it worth us coming down here and finishing this? Yeah, probably. So we'll go ahead and we'll get military youth. That's going to give us more fascism, which we don't really need. And Poland has, well, said no, so I would imagine any minute now Germany will start marching into Poland and the war shall begin. Okay, so now we can start to expand our steel production. So we can give up 3 civilian factories for 90 days, and then we'll get an extra 12 steel at the end of it. What province is this actually in? Does it tell me? Izmit. Where's that? Is it this? Oh, it's here. So we can get 12 steel here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's good. It does mean we're going to struggle for civilian factories, but it is worth doing. Particularly, steel is one of those resources where you seem to always need way, like, it seems to get to a point late game where there just isn't enough of it on the map if you're trying to produce a huge army. Okay, there we go. Poland has now been officially declared on. I don't think they've joined the Allies yet, though. Oh, they have. Oh, okay. Oh, no, yeah, there's even fighting on the French border. Okay, the borders have been drawn. Okay, so our justification for Yemen has finished. Hopefully they won't join the Allies. They potentially might. So we're just going to go. I put them on aggressive and I sent the orders to already go. So we're just going to tell them to go in straight away. Ugh, really, Yemen? It's 1939 and you still haven't finished? That's annoying. Typically with smaller nations like Yemen, you want them to finish their industrial research straight away, because then it's just a few extra factories. Instead, they've decided to do their naval and army tech. Fat lot of good that's done you. Oh well, we've missed out on a few factories, but it is what it is. We do actually need them as a core province of ours to restore the Ottoman Empire. So let's go. I can't imagine this would take very long at all. Right, and I'm so confident, just rush for the capital. Christ, I feel like modern day Saudi Arabia. That was actually a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, because they entrenched themselves in the mountains. So while we have broken them, it cost us 10k, which, I mean, isn't exactly a lot of it's not a lot, really, but, you know, it's Yemen, so I kind of didn't expect them to put up any resistance, but yeah, it's all mountainous, so it was quite easy for them to defend. Okay, just I want them to attack before they let themselves build up any kind of entrenchment, because entrenchment in the mountains is just a massive pain in the arse to deal with. This is proving to be way more difficult than I thought it would. I've never struggled to take Yemen, but those mountains, man, they're just this is probably why they're struggling in real life right now. If you don't know, Saudi Arabia's been trying to push until, well, it's all up for who, you know, it's all circumstantial, but they're trying to take out some Yemenis rebels in the mountains, and yeah, can't do it. Turns out one guy with a rocket launcher versus like 10 tanks is well, it's a bit of a it's a struggle. Oh my god, I never thought I'd see the day. In the time it's taken me to take out Yemen, Germany has successfully taken out both France and Poland. But no. I mean, scratch that. We actually took Yemen out very quickly. Just don't look at the date it is, or our casualties. That's Allied propaganda anyway. Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Oh, I actually did it. I actually clicked done by accident. You know, it's at times like this where I really wish I wasn't playing on Iron Man. So I actually had to take a step away from the computer there for a sec because I was so annoyed at that little clumsy misclick. So I've gone away and we've now reevaluated what we're going to do. So the Second World War is completely off in full effect and in full swing. As you can see, the Axis now control all of Europe. One slight problem we do have now is that Vichy France has taken control of these states here, and we do actually need those states. So that's going to be an issue if we have to go to war with the Axis. At the moment, we're actually quite weak. If we can take everything we need to take, then we can become a very beefy empire. But at the moment, you know, we need everything we can get. So we're going to reset up all our armies, and then then we're just going to march straight into Africa and try and take all of these states over here. We do need these states here, though. These are all core states, and if I have to go to war with the Axis and the British, then that's going to make things a lot more difficult. Okay, we're going to start getting improved computer machines. We've nearly got enough political power for a new advisor. We're going to need to sort out our trade routes because France has capitulated. We're going to go ahead and get ideological fanaticism, and that's going to give us some attack and defense on core territory, which we are going to actually gain cores on all this territory over here. I don't know if that helps us until we form the Ottoman Empire. I would imagine it wouldn't, but once we've taken it, then it will also give us some defense, so it's worth getting. And then we can get technology sharing, which means we'll get some research boosts. Not the most useful thing in the world, but, you know, it's always nice to have. Actually got the opportunity now to invest in some more oil fields, so that's going to add 28 oil over in this little pocket over here, which is actually huge when you think about it, because it goes from 10 to 38. So that's nearly quadrupling the amount of oil in that one tile alone. The trade-off is that it uses 15 civilian factories for 180 days, which is why I think it's important as the Ottoman Empire to do them as early as you can. You could argue to use them later, but I think it's, you know, you want to get them out of the way. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. Although I'm quickly building a few military factories to help with our air production. So I might leave it just a little bit, and then I'll do it once some of those factories are done. So luckily for us, the British have gone ahead and taken all of the land in the Middle East. I guess the Middle East isn't the right descriptor, but in the Palestine, Jordan, Israel area. So that's good for us. That means we can just walk in and take it. Hopefully they won't have kept any troops here, and it doesn't look like they have. So that'll make it nice and easy for us. So now we're just going to wait to take out Yemen. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Gray, you were really struggling to take Yemen in the first place. So why didn't you just paratroop behind their line and take it the same way you took Iraq and Saudi Arabia? And to that I say, I don't know. So we're doing it now. No, I really didn't think they'd be that difficult to take. So the current game plan is I've got all my troops and divisions set up. I haven't got generals in all of them because we just don't have the political power for it. So we're going to send these divisions down here and take Northern Africa and the Egyptian area. These two divisions are then going to mop up that pocket, and the rest of these divisions down here are just going to mop up their pockets respectively. Once that's done, we're going to form a garrison army, and they'll hold all of our ports to stop the Allies landing anywhere new. And then it'll be a case of just entrenching our position, rapidly militarizing our country, building as much military factories as possible to just really modernize our army. We're going to want a lot of tanks because otherwise we're going to have no hope of pushing into the Soviet Union, because we are going to want to do that. What we want really is, even though it wasn't strictly part of the Ottoman Empire, I said at the start of the game I want as much oil as possible. So we're going to want to take over all of this Caucasus area down here. Got 98 oil here, 27 oil here, 18 oil here. If we can take all of this, you know, all the way up to this river, then that's going to put us on par with, you know, the rest of the great powers in the game. And, you know, that's what we're really after. We want to become a world power again. So, yeah, that's the plan. We're going to get Paratrooper Tech 2 to make our paratroopers a little bit stronger. We're going to go ahead and start justifying on the United Kingdom in case Yemen doesn't join the Allies. Okay, we're going to put you guys on aggressive. You guys will go as well. And that should be it. Declare war. It's like deja vu. You're pushing in, you're pushing in, and you're pushing in, and then these paratroopers should be dropping in behind them as well. Does Yemen even have an air force? That's the real question. No, no. Oh, okay, look, and just like that, we've landed in their capital with literally no resistance. Why I didn't do that last time? Not sure. Probably should have. I think it was just a case of I just expected them to be really easy. There we go, look at that. That was, oh look, we got some fuel as well. If only we weren't full. Yep, not sure why I didn't do that the first time. Okay, let's make sure to click the right button this time. Let's not do what I did last time. So we're going to click it and then end turn. And then boom. We didn't mess it up this time. Okay, so our justification for the United Kingdom is finished, which means it's now time to properly reclaim the Ottoman Empire. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put everyone to aggressive and tell them to go. The reason for that is because we can't beat them in strength. It is purely just a case of doing it on speed before they get any troops here. I will say, if you are playing as Turkey or the Ottoman Empire, one thing to watch out for is these islands over here. If you don't put some men here, and then down here as well, the Allies can put men on these islands and then just walk straight in, and then suddenly you've got an army, and then all of a sudden you've got a large army in the more factory heavy part of your country. So that's something to watch out for. We've got our air force in position. We're hiding our navy over here so the Allies don't destroy it. In fact, I will I'm gonna merge you guys, and then I'm just gonna send you over here for the time being. Well, once it's a little bit stronger and more beefy, then we'll move it over. And then yeah, you guys are ready, and everyone is set to go. I put 14 guys on just garrisoning our ports, just in case there's a stupid naval invasion or whatever. And yeah, I think we're ready. Let's go. Oh, I need to actually... Never mind. Yeah, so I'm hoping we can take all this territory out before Greece joins the Allies. Okay, so there is one division over here, so you're just going to need to do a little bit of manual movement. Okay. You take that. And then you guys just encircle. I'm not sure why you're just charging head on in. Croatia wants to send us a little bit of support equipment. Why not? Germany wants a non-aggression pact, we'll take that, and Italy wants a non-aggression pact, we'll take that as well. Okay, and we've taken, was this Kuwait? Cool, so we've taken Kuwait, so we'll add you to whatever army needs you. Okay, you've taken Qatar as well. So far, everything's going perfectly. We've managed to encircle that one division down here, and apart from that, we haven't actually seen any other divisions. So this is going to be very smooth sailing, I think. Oh, never mind. There's actually a light tank down here. But it looks like 2 light tanks and 4 to 5... Yeah, okay, that's not a huge tank. It's a very small tank division. Still, though, much better than the units we have. So, just try and circle it. It looks like he's moving out of Jerusalem. So, I mean, just let him. If he wants to move out of Jerusalem, let him move out of Jerusalem. Spain wants to send us 3 volunteers. Thank you. Screw you, Slovakia. Thank you, Hungary. Thank you, Free France. Oh, well, Vichy France, actually. Okay, it's getting a little bit messy down here, so I'm going to just do a little bit more micromanagement. Okay, so we've just finished off all the pockets down here, so we're now going to be moving those men into a garrison force, and we haven't quite finished taking this territory yet, but we've nearly got it. So I think it's just... I have no doubt that we'll be able to get it. It's just we're going to have to do a little bit of micromanagement. So I just placed an order for these 4 divisions here to come and guard these islands over here. And the United Kingdom's actually moved in because they own this one already. So, yeah, we got that to deal with. So there's only actually 2 divisions that have moved in. So all we need to do now is just take these 2 provinces here, and they'll be completely cut off from supply. It's not very smart on the AI's part, to be honest. These divisions have been encircled in Jerusalem. That's not very good for them. And then once we've taken out Jerusalem, we can then move our divisions down and end up taking out the Suez Canal. These guys are just garrisoning the rest of our ports. That's fine. We can actually update our garrison order to hold this and this. That's perfect. And yeah, that's put us in pretty tip-top. And yeah, so that's actually that's actually gone really well for us. Now we just need to focus on taking out the rest of North Africa, securing that position. But with all of that being said, I think it's about time that we actually restore the Ottoman Empire. Oh god, it's a shade of green. I'll give it that. It is a shade of, it is definitely a colour. Rebirth of the Grand Ottoman Sovereignty. Having secured all the pre-war Ottoman lands, the Turkish government, as representatives of the Ottoman successor state, has now begun with reintegrating these territories. Government-directed propaganda has flared up, denouncing the partitions of the Allies in the Great War and extolling the glory days of the empire. In a clear effort to rally the population of the newly conquered lands behind the widespread national reforms and a return to imperial norms. As part of these, the Turkish government has announced the restoration of the Grand Ottoman Sovereignty and has changed the nation's official name to reflect this. We have undone the partitions at last. Yeah, dude, that shade of green, holy... Oh god, I mean, no wonder they used to call the Ottoman Empire the sick man of Europe. That colour does look a bit sickly, Jesus. So our core manpower has effectively doubled with that. That's ridiculous. We've gone from about 14, 15 core population to about 28 million. And so as you can see, we've already got 1 million men on the way, and we've not even finished mobilising, not even halfway. And it actually gets better than that, because all of this territory along the north of Africa is actually core states. You know, so that's a core state. That's a core state, that's a core state, and then you get like Italy and stuff. But I'm pretty sure we get all of North Africa. Should get all the way to Tunisia. Okay, so these divisions here have been cut off, so it should just be a case of ramming troops into them and they'll run out of supply. Maybe don't let them get the airport. We've managed to get a little bit of an encirclement over in the Suez Canal area, so Cairo is completely encircled, and so is Alexander. I'm just trying to desperately capture as much land over here as possible before Italy moves in and takes it all. Okay, so Cairo has fallen. So now we're going to move in and we're going to take the Suez. Okay, and with that, we have kicked the British out of Turkey over here. We've completely taken over Cairo, Alexandria, and the Suez Canal. We're now trying to take out as much of North Africa as possible before Italy takes it all, but by the looks of it, they've cut us off already. And then we're going to push down and take bits of Egypt as well. And with all of that being said, I think that's where we're going to leave it off today. So we had to take out Yemen twice, but we were able to do it no problem the second time. We've secured all the little pockets of land over here around the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. Oman we can work on next time. They're not really like they haven't really got anything. They're not, you know, they're just about to finish construction free, so we'll get a few extra factories if we wait for them to do that first. And yeah, we've officially reformed the Ottoman Empire and got this just, how do you describe this green or this lime? Like weak lime? I don't know how you'd even describe the colour we've got now. But yeah, we've officially reformed the Ottoman Empire. From here, what we need to focus on doing is just entrenching our position. There's no way the British will ever be able to fully take us out now. They just don't. They don't have the footing. There's no way. Their closest footing is Cyprus, but we can take that out. And apart from that, they've lost all of the rest of their ground. And not to mention the fact, if they do want to take this back, they have to come through the Mediterranean, which Italy hopefully will control, although the Italians, as history has taught us, don't rely on the Italians to hold their ground. And yeah, so we'll then entrench our position and we'll start looking outwards. I think what we'll do is we'll start planning to take out the Soviet Union. Just try and take out the Caucasus down here. That'll really, you know, it's not a huge amount of factories and stuff, but it is, there's a lot of resources down here. And if we can take that away from the Germans and give it to us instead, that's going to be huge. We haven't joined any factions yet. I don't know if we're going to join the Axis or not. The Axis is looking pretty beefy, I must say. And but the Allies aren't looking too hot either, especially at the moment. And yeah, so as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.